Hugh Reed. I'm the CEO and founder of Reed Law Group, a company that not only helps military servicemen nationwide, and women, by the way, nationwide. We represent them oftentimes pro bono, but we also offer bar review services. We help you throughout law school, lawschooltutoring.com. We get you into law school with maxyourlsat.com. And we specialize on the Multistate Bar Exam with Reed MBR review. That is, we help you get ready for this critical examination. An exam, by the way, that I take personally every 6 months. I took the last one, I'll take the next one. And I do this not only to be licensed in various jurisdictions around the world. I've been far-flung places like Palau, Virgin Islands, Guam, Hawaii. I take the exam, and the Multistate Bar Exam, as most of you know, is comprised of 200 questions. 60 questions, or up to 60 questions, are repeat questions from past exams for statistical equating purposes. Now, I'm not allowed to give you those actual questions. That would be illegal and unethical. However, I can make sure that our students score very high on the Multistate Bar Exam by knowing what has been tested and how it's been tested. So we focus on that a lot. So let me give you a little bit of an update on the Multistate Bar Exam for those of you who don't know that much about it. This is our 2010 update, all right? The exam has changed recently, as many of you know, and unlike others who tell you what they think is going to be changed, for example, the CEO and nationwide lecturer for multi-state purposes for Barbary, where I used to work for 17 years, has never taken and passed a multi-state bar exam, and of course I take it every time it's given. So I feel very comfortable talking about this, and our success speaks for itself, because truly we have the highest success rate at the lowest cost to pass the bar exam. The 200 questions that are tested on the Multistate Bar Exam, 10 questions are now experimental questions. That is, they do not count of your total score, but they're experimental questions. You and I are going to be guinea pigs to see how we do on those type of questions. 6 subjects are tested, 200 questions. We have contracts, including the law of sales, UCC Article 2. We have constitutional law. We have crimes, half of the questions in criminal procedure now in crimes. We have property, we have torts, and we have the federal rules of evidence. So 6 subjects. The bar examiners are thinking of adding civil procedure, but right now it's not part of the exam. In each subject, you're going to be tested approximately 33 questions, except in torts and contracts, where we're going to get 34 questions. Again, 10 questions out of 200 are experimental questions. They don't count, but we don't know what questions they are, so we have to try equally as hard. Some other recent changes are that we only have 1 question stemming off of 1 fact pattern. Years ago, when I started taking this exam, we used to have 3, 4, even 5 questions stemming off of 1 fact pattern. Now you only have 1 question. The questions, especially in property and contracts, are very long, sometimes a column and a half long. So you're going to get tired of reading, and I'm going to give you an approach on how to approach these questions. And of course, if you should take our course, then we will absolutely make sure that you have everything down on how to pass this part of the exam. So they're very long. Many years ago, we used to have 5 different types of questions. We had best of the lot. You have to pick the best of 4 bad alternatives. Number 2, worst of the lot. Number 3, dichotomy questions, 2 answer choices holding one way and 2 answer choices holding another. Number 4, tier type questions, where you had Roman numeral propositions and you had to pick the best combination of those propositions. And then number 5, case squibs, where they give you several cases and some fact patterns, and you have to, through a process of analogy, figure out which fact pattern fits closest to any particular case. Now they only have 3 types of questions: best of the lot, worst of the lot, and dichotomy questions. Best of the lot. Pick the best of 4 bad alternatives. And that's really the way you have to look at it. You have to eliminate answer choices and back in to the right answer. And to give you an example, if I were to ask you the best answer of these 4 answer choices, what is the capital of the United States? And you look down and you saw that Washington, D.C. was not among those answer choices, you'd have to pick the best answer. So if they had San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, you'd have to pick New York because New York was the capital of the United States in the late 1700s. And I'll tell you in a minute how to choose, when you whittle it down to 2 answer choices, how to pick probability-wise the best answer choice. Worst of the lot, on the other hand, what I do is I say, what's a good answer here? And I put a plus mark next to it. And then, if I'm down to 1 minus mark, 3 pluses, that has to be the right answer. And then dichotomy questions, 2 answer choices holding one way, 2 answer choices holding another. I always look at the interrogatory first, and then I say, is this constitutional? Should this guy be guilty? Certainly if they tell you, macho pig, if the jury believes macho pig, then of course you've got to say, well, however despicable he is in this question, we will find him not guilty. Okay, so the average score, most candidates will miss about 75 to 80 questions out of 200. And the National Conference of Bar Examiners have gone to great lengths to tell examiners around the country how important this exam is, that candidates will do approximately as well on other parts of the bar exam as they do on a multi-state. So it's very important that you score high on a multi-state bar exam. After your raw score is determined, they add a number of scores based on the difficulty of the exam for statistical equating purposes. And again, 60 questions out of 200 are repeat questions from past exams, up to 60 questions. That's why it's so important to study with someone who actually takes the exam and realistic type of questions. Let me quickly tell you how to choose between 2 answer choices. And you whittle it down to 2 answer choices. I'd like you to write down, Larry liked fried shrimp, perfectly cooked. Larry liked fried shrimp, perfectly cooked. Larry, the L in Larry stands for pick an answer choice that's based in law over one that's based in fact. Larry. Liked, pick the longer of the 2 answer choices. Larry liked fried, F, discern what happens first in time. In other words, you have to find the steps of the courthouse before you argue the merits of the case. You have to get rid of the exclusions and hearsay before you look at the exceptions. So Larry liked fried shrimp, S, stay away. Stay away from Latin terms. Latin terms are sucker choices. They are red herrings. They have not been the right answers. Stay away from terminology you've never heard of before. And finally, stay away from absolutes. Always, must, never, only. Those are not the right answer. So Larry liked fried shrimp, perfectly, P, play word association. Play word association. If they're testing you on negligence, then get rid of something that can only appear in intentional tort. So you have to decide what subtopic you're in. So word association is key. And then cooked, check your modifiers. If, because, unless. If wins over because wins over unless. Certainly if wins over unless. All right, well, I could go on forever, but we have lots of, we have a practice exam online. Go ahead and look at that. If you have any questions, email us. Or Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter, or you can call us, 800-852-3926. I wish you all the best, and Godspeed.